Synergetic journal videos of my individual, continuous, non-political manifesto. April 24 through April 26, 2026. Potential versus primitive, Part 1. The closest approach to eternity in God, Part 7. Christina Herlufsen's ongoing Synergetics research project. Unobviously, in today's technologically dependent, money-motivated AI, artificial intelligence ambitions, are the meteoric rising personalities whose similar philosophies and perspectives share an enthusiasm of reaping future profits from their rapidly developing intentions to gain dominant control over the world's computing power. They not only discredit nature's coordinate system subfrequency that accounts for the doubling of volumetric space, as synergetically informed awareness of it provides, for nucleation, but also metaphysical universe and metaphysical intellect as a function of it. Synergetics, an anticipatory design science regenerating awareness integrity corresponds with contemporary humanity's innate ability to explore the geometries of thinking and the conceptual models of nature's coordinate system, Mr. Fuller discovered in the 20th century. Primarily, synergetics is the geometry of the nucleus rather than the geometry of chemistry. Synergetic conceptual models inform our consciously evolving metaphysical mind and physical cerebral circuits, mostly of fundamental behaviors, the central behaviors that are inherently nuclear in its own right. Nucleation cannot be imagined as a conceptual model without the vector equilibrium, which is the maximum domain of the nucleus. Expecting Earth's approximately 8 billion humans to conceptualize the domains of the nucleus with inadequate tools from the inherited education influences is as foolish as dismissing inherent imagination's ability to formulate conceptually without a rudimentary awareness of closest packed spheres, the equiradius nuclear spheres. Awareness of closest packed equiradius spheres provide a conceptual environment for systemic thought to show its observing personality psyche, its perspective analysis, its potentially compatible philosophy, how atoms define the integral environment that provides minimum effort by design for the human mind's dependence only on trial and error explored survival stratagems in support of all life. How otherwise is the human brain mind supposed to imagine the invisible circuitry design of omnidirectional universe? Especially since humans cannot exist without the energy. Energy is eternally conserved. Energy is neither created nor is ever lost in universe. Energy can be discovered by the individual's consciously coordinated thoughts' correlations to the conceptuality of it. Humans on Earth comprise a species. As described by forensic anthropologists, the human species are of a mind. The mind is whatever the human intellect decides it will be. But the most accurate mind, of course, is the eternal, omniscient mind to which metaphysical intellect can consciously refer the formulations of its thought. Thoughts are systemic, of a system. In quotes, thought is primitively four-foldedly experienceable, end quote. Synergetics, 1071.25. In synergetics, primitive is what metaphysical intellect conceptualizes sizelessly without words, but words, especially intuitively, semi-consciously tuned in from the cosmic stream during the writing process, undoubtedly are essential in the evolving universal communication process, TEUCP. Primitive is differentiated from prime and describes the initial self-starting condition of divergence. Divergence and convergence is one of the always and only coexisting complementarities that physics has found, in quotes. Primitive dimensionality is systemic, end quote. Potentially, a comparative differentiation exists between primitive and prime, as we can read in Synergetics 1011.30, in quotes. Prime means the first possible realization, end quote. Synergetics 1011.30. Prime convergence involves a conceptuality of four interweaving vertexes, where at a six trajectory isolation of insideness and outsideness may well pertain to a personality's psyche's philosophical perspective analysis in its consciously coordinated thought process, correlating to one's individual economic initiative and awareness of AAA NOEA. That's an absolute accommodation network of energy articulation. This seems to have happened as Bucky Fuller integrated geometry and philosophy in a single conceptual system, as we can read in Synergetics 251.50, that provides our contemporary humanity with a common language and omnirational accounting system that is applicable to the physical and metaphysical universe we are presently exploring, comparatively to AI robotic ambitions, the artificial intelligence that is a costly energy accounting, but as it now stands, never is referential to universe's structural systems in their own right. Both primitive and prime are relative to systemic thought's potential awareness of 4 points as stars, or 4 points as spheres, or 4 equiradius spheres in closest packing. Essentially, metaphysical intellect's consciously coordinated thought can divide universe into the insideness and outsideness of the system. In truth, pattern integrity of the system cannot be conceptualized independent of its size by the human imagination's innate ability to formulate anticipatory reality without a prime awareness of the sphere, end quote. Sphere is prime awareness, end quote. We have been misinformed about the beginning number that ordinarily is 1, but more accurately turns out to be the number 4. 4 vertexes of the minimum structural system, that is a structural system in its own right, as a polyvertexial polyhedron that naturally consists of 6 vectors and 4 triangular openings, the 4 triangular faces of the tetrahedron, which is the abstract integrity, eternally conserved energy patterning of metaphysical physical universe, recalling the equation U equal MP. With those minimums in mind, 4 vertexes, 4 triangular openings, and 6 basic relationships that define the conceptuality of one tetrahedron, the minimum structural system's energy quantum, our individual metaphysical intellect as a function of omnidirectional, omnirational, omniconsiderate universe, has a direct access to the 6 positive and 6 negative degrees of freedom, giving each and every human of a mind 12 degrees of freedom. What in the universe are we to do with so much freedom if it is not consciously correlatively to satisfying curiosities that correspond with favorable outcomes and learning more about one's individual personality, psyche, perspective, and philosophy along each trial and error step taken throughout a whole lifetime on Earth? To be continued in Part 2. Thank you.